Hey, welcome back. Welcome back, Andrew Tolfa. An actual Tolfa Tuesday on a Tuesday. How about that? Only took
I'm,
us like
I'm
the entire
excited to
season,
be
but
back.
we finally got one. Uh, so this week, only thing on the docket really is the Pro Bowl. I don't care about that at all. Uh,
Oh, come on. You don't
NFL,
want to see Mac Jones?
no, I don't. Uh, the NFL awards are next Thursday, but we're not really going to talk about it next week because we're going to talk about the actual game and then probably something stupid. You know how we do. So we're going to talk about the awards this week. And where do we want to start? I feel like a lot of them are pretty self-explanatory,
hmm
who's going to win them and whatnot. But I'm sure
Well, I
you
mean, we
can
can
probably
give a dark
disagree.
horse for some.
Yeah. All right. So whatever award
Yeah,
you
I
want to start
mean,
with, Tolva.
I like to start with Rookie of the Year. Um, I'm gonna start with offensive rookie, and then we can go to defensive next. But my offensive Rookie of the Year, um, I've gone back and forth throughout the year, but I think the clear choice is Jamar Chase. I was riding the Mac Jones train for like a week or two, but there's just this unexplainable it factor that Jamar Chase has. The biggest games, the biggest scenes, the clutchest times, he just always comes up with a big play. And he and Joe Burrow have a ridiculous chemistry that's clearly carried over from college. Obviously, he's still in the playoffs, so we still get to enjoy watching him. But for me, that's pretty easy. My dark horse, I'm not really sure if I have one. I have a super dark horse, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Do I think he's going to get it? Not a snowball's chance in hell, but I think he was one of the best offensive rookies this year. And he showed up big for the Lions when they had no real receiving talent. He can play from outside or the slot. He's a twitchy route runner and he's got good hands, the occasional explosive play, but he's been a great receiver for them, great rookie. And if they can pick up a wide receiver one like I have them doing in the draft or in free agency with their cap space, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown will be one of the best top five wide receiver twos in the NFL as he develops. Yeah, what about you guys? Offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, I was going the same here. Jamar Chase, I think he's clear front runner for this. The way he improved that Bengals offense, how he helped Joe Burrow develop from year one to year two is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all
Dark
know
horse.
mine.
What
Come
is it,
on.
Rondale Moore or something?
No, Devin Mcpherson, top three kicker in the
Oh,
league.
he is a top three kicker in the league, I will say. As a rookie, he's a top three kicker. And that deserves more appreciation.
Top two
I'm
and
going to
not
say
two.
Evan McPherson definitely deserves more hype than he's getting. I mean, kickers don't get much hype as it is, but he's doing this as a rookie.
Yeah,
So, okay. Then who's your dark horse?
I guess Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Bryce, you got a dark horse?
Geez. I guess it would have to be Mac Jones solely because it's quarterback, because he's a
Right,
quarterback.
right. Yeah, I mean, positional value still plays into these things. That's why quarterbacks win the MVP almost every year. Defensive rookie of the year, this has been set in stone for me since before the season even began. Micah Parsons is clearly the defensive rookie of the year. And for me, he's seriously in the thick of defensive player of the year talks. But as a defensive rookie, he was just the ultimate chess piece for Dan Quinn. Wherever Dan Quinn needed to line him up that week, inside linebacker, any of the three spots, Sam, Will, or Mike, he played defensive end. He would rush from the inside too, and he played slot a couple snaps. I mean, he's just a freak athlete. Whatever he's doing, he's way above average at it. He's a great pass rusher. He got 13 sacks, broke the rookie record, and he was drafted to and plays half of the time off-ball linebacker. So it's kind of ridiculous, really, just the stat line that he's put up, the impact that he's had on this Cowboys defense, and there is no one that compares to him for me. I don't really know about any dark horses. I like Azeez Ojulari a lot. I like his tape. He didn't usually when he got to the quarterback for a sack, it was because the quarterback held the ball too long and didn't throw it away. But his pressure rate was super high, and I've loved him since he was a draft prospect. You guys can see my old scouting reports on him, but I really like Azeez Ojulari, and I think his future is bright. So, defensive rookie of the year chat, but not really in the talks.
Yeah, we're pretty much on the same wavelengths here. I gotta go with.
I see what you did
Yeah,
there.
I gotta go with Michael Parsons. So, like you said, it wherever you line him up that week, he'll play it and he'll dominate. Whether it's pass rush, whether it's linebacker, he's gonna play that and he's gonna do it really well.
Totally. Yeah. Dark horse? Question mark?
Dark horse, I gotta go Patrick Surtain.
Okay, yeah, no, he was a great corner for Denver, and he was, as advertised, NFL ready.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, and I don't have a dark horse. You think I know that many defensive rookies?
Yeah, you're right. That's on me. How about we get into some more of the exciting talks, like offensive player of the year? For me, it really is not a question. I think it's Cooper Kupp. And I think Cooper Kupp deserves to be in the MVP conversation. He broke the all-time single season, including the playoffs record for all-purpose yards by a wide receiver. Who would have thought this little white boy from Eastern Washington or wherever he came from would be dominating like this? But he's such a polished wide receiver. His technique is 10 out of 10. And he was the best offensive player in the National Football League this year. He deserves the award. Dark horse, I don't really have one. I think Jamar Chase deserves to be in that conversation because he was incredible this year. But there was no running back that had a Christian McCaffrey 2019 season, which will usually take the cake. I think Jonathan Taylor deserves to be in the talks with Cooper Kupp, but I just think Cooper Kupp was the best offensive player on the field in every single game he played.
Yeah, I'm not stealing Tolva's here or anything, but I have Cooper Kupp too. I mean, he did something this year that we haven't seen from a wide receiver probably since prime Kelvin Johnson. Like the stats he put up with Matthew Stafford year one were just phenomenal.
In double coverage and stuff too. I mean, it's not like defenses were ignoring him.
Yeah, I feel like Jonathan Taylor would have been if Cooper Kupp didn't break all those records and then people are like, 18 games or 17 games, whatever.
Yeah.
Like he would have, but yeah, I mean, it's gotta be Cooper Kupp. But if Jonathan Taylor won it, I don't think anybody would be, all up in arms about it. I think that would
I think Jonathan Taylor is deserving. He had a ridiculously good year, way more explosive of a player than we initially thought. But man, watching Cooper Kupp is like watching Madden on rookie mode. So hats off to Cooper Kupp. He really did it this year. Defensive player of the year. I think this one's also locked down pat, TJ Watt. That's not really a question. I mean, he was literally destroying 5-person lines full of 300-pound men, and he was just single-handedly wrecking opposing offenses and their game plan. Not really up for debate to me. I think TJ Watt was maybe even the best player in the league this year. As for a dark horse, if you ever are thinking to yourself, Trayvon Diggs has a chance, I suggest you turn around and walk out the door.
Head over.
I'll go Myles Garrett.
Over 1,000.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like the Jameis Winston stat line for cornerbacks. But I'm going to go Myles Garrett because he was also just truly disruptive off the edge. Every single snap he played, he pressured the quarterback. I mean, he's just a freak of nature. So I'm going to go Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with TJ Watt and Aaron Donald. Dark horse MVP defensive player of the year is Aaron Donald. I think TJ Watt is self-explanatory. You don't really got to say much because he was like one sack away from breaking the record.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, TJ Watt broke the record in less games than Michael Strahan did it in. So can't beat him there. But like, I don't know. I feel like Myles Garrett, maybe, maybe a weird.
It's possible.
Yeah,
What do
depends on
they
the
call it?
feeling.
TFL for TJ Watt?
The tackle for loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. But I mean, I think we don't talk enough about Myles Garrett, even though he just keeps getting overshadowed by these ridiculous defensive seasons. Myles Garrett has been ridiculously consistent too. I mean, technically he's gotten so much better. Obviously he's an athletic freak, but even when he missed games due to injury or due to trying to assault Mason Rudolph, he's always picked up right where he left off. And he is really just, what he does is illegal in some places. I mean, that man is physical as all get out. So I do think Myles Garrett deserves to be in the conversation.
All right, let's get a little spicy. Tolba hasn't been here in a while, so we'll actually, I feel like we'll have 3 different opinions. Maybe Bryce and I will agree. Who is Coach of the Year?
Coach of the Year. That's difficult for me because there was no one that felt like they really just, their coaching is the reason their team went over the top or made such a drastic change. I
came up with mine in like 2 minutes.
Zach Taylor deserves to be in the conversation for what he's done to that Bengals organization. He was atrocious play calling last year, but he really has taken the next step. I think Matt LaFleur is likely going to win it just because he coached a super good regular season Green Bay Packers. This might just be the Saints fan in me, though. I think Sean Payton deserves to be in the conversation. Saints broke the record for the most starters played in a season with, I believe, 58. Won 9 games, went through 4 quarterbacks, didn't have Michael Thomas all year, had to deal with injuries and COVID, and even he was out for a game. So, I just think Sean Payton deserves to be in that talk.
Yeah, I gotta go Zach Taylor. The way the Bengals improved from last year only winning 4 games to right now, the way he's coached, I know you said play calling was an issue, but he still coached that team really well.
That surprised me, Bryce. I mean, it makes kind of sense because, you said Zach Taylor was a doofus or something and wasn't ready, and I keep bringing that up, but I just like doing it. I thought we were both in the Richie B camp. I don't know why, the fact that the Raiders picked Josh McDaniels over Rich Bisaccia is ridiculous.
The fact that the players are furious.
Yeah, the fact that they picked Josh McDaniels over anyone is mind-boggling, let alone over Rich Bisaccia.
No, I mean, there have been a ton of reports today that came out that said that players are pissed that Rich Bisaccia is not the head coach right now.
He's a player's coach. Everyone loves him right away.
And he's a good coach. Let's not front here. I mean, he's a special teams coordinator, but he is a good football coach, and he knows how to lead a group of men.
Yeah, Rich Bisaccia, when you look at somebody who was like you said, Tova, none of these people made their, I don't remember exactly how you worded it, sorry, but when you think of just a coach gathering a group of 53 men and getting the most out of them week in and week out, blocking out all the outside noise, this and that, it's got to be Richie B.
Honestly, you look at that Raiders roster, there are some holes, and he covered it up. I mean, I think Rich Bisaccia deserves serious head coaching considerations. I mean, as a special teams coach, he really is just a leader of men. He knows how to get the most out of his guys.
That brought me to another question. Do we think Rich Bisaccia has a legit chance at a head coaching job?
Yeah, legit, yes. Because
where do you think he gets it?
Players will vouch for him, and he put on tape this year his schemes, both offensive and defensive. I mean, he worked with both coordinators to get a solid game plan before every game. It's not like this is some coach that went 17-0 with some ragtag, people he picked up off the sidewalk. this is a special teams coordinator that came into a tough situation with a decent, I would say average Raiders team, and he got the most out of them. And not only that, but got the team to fall in love with him. And he did that in like 13 games or something, less than that maybe. So, I mean, really, I just
Jacksonville
come back to
goes that way.
Yeah, he's just, when you have a leader of men in the locker room, people that really respect you and want to play hard for you, that's, you can figure out scheming with coordinators and stuff like that. But even then, he had a good scheme. Rich Bisaccia was impressive.
And you heard towards the end of the season, Raiders players said, like, yeah, this time of the year, John Gruden doesn't take his foot off the gas. He just keeps working us later on after the bye, this and that. And they were like, Bisaccia understands it. And then, they made it to the playoffs still after all of this, after a coach getting fired. And, we talked about
with
it
no
every
talent
week.
on any side of the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing their number one receiver, cornerback's just a mess. Deshaun Jackson, not that like he didn't do bad, he just doesn't really do anything besides like
Josh
one catch
Jacobs
every 4
had an off
games.
year.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what's really
Even Darren
impressive
Waller
to
missed
me
half the season.
is the play of Derek Carr and what Rich Bisaccia got out of him. Like, he got the most out of Derek Carr and made him look above average. And Derek Carr said he told media that he wanted to play for Rich Bisaccia again. Like, clearly this dude has an impact on the players, and they feel like they don't need to have some Pro Bowl roster to make the playoffs because they have him as their leader. I'm a little baffled that he's not their head coach right now, but it is what it is.
Maybe DC and Rich link up in Jacksonville. Maybe they're done with
Totally.
Trevor. They want to go to a veteran. All right, so I'm glad nobody said Mike Vrabel, because that is just like the laziest pick for Coach of the Year, right?
I don't think he really deserved Coach of the Year. He lost the only player on offense that was elite before AJ Brown got his chance when the running game died. But literally, he lost his 2-time 2,000-yard rusher, made it to the playoffs as the 1 seed, lost in the first round, but he's the Coach of the Year? No, not when you have Julio Jones and AJ Brown on your offense too.
All right, Bryce, do you agree that this Vrabel Coach of the Year talk is kind of dumb?
Oh yeah, it's dumb. And Tova hit the nail on the head. Like, you have talent on each side of the ball. You sacked Joe Burrow 9.5 times, and you still couldn't get the win in the first round. It baffles me.
And like, if they played in the NFC West and they still lost in the first round, like, I get it, you had 3 playoff teams. This had 1. It was just them. The Colts should have made it, granted, but the Texans were bad. The Jaguars were even worse. So when 6 of your games are against those people, and yeah, like, when they lost Derek Carr, they were not the same team at all. Yeah, they still won because they should have beaten those teams with or without Derek Henry. Said Derek Carr before. But yeah. All right, I'm glad that we agree on that. I thought one of you might say Mike Vrabel, but I'm happy we didn't.
No, we're smarter than that this season.
I mean, I don't know if they do it like on the big awards show thing, but let's talk about coordinators. Obviously, Bryce, your coordinator became a head coach. I don't think he would have won Offensive Coordinator of the Year anyways, but either of you guys got somebody you'd like to name that?
As the Offensive Coordinator of the Year?
Yeah.
Or assistant.
Whatever.
The best offensive assistant of the year?
Whatever.
I'm going to say, it's kind of hard. I really, really like Byron Leftwich. I think his offense is really good. His schemes, and he just shows a great amount of football IQ in the plays that he calls. He's a good play caller. That's another thing. But I mean, he just got the most out of his guys. He got the most out of Leonard Fournette, made him look like his old self. And, after guys like Chris Godwin went down and Antonio Brown departed. He got the most out of his backup receivers, and he's keeping guys like Gronk looking elite. I think Byron Leftwich, his scheme is adapting to the new NFL and the level at which defenses are getting, and he was the most impressive to me.
Bryce?
Yeah, I mean, I really got nobody because Tova took Leftwich on me, but
Really, you think Leftwich too?
Yeah, I do.
I didn't think that would be the consensus.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. He got the most out of everybody. He ran a great Buccaneers offense with very little talent towards the end of the season. I mean, the lazy pick would have been Eric Bieniemy, but we'll get into why that's not a great pick another time.
Mm-hmm.
Save that for another podcast. But
no, I mean, if you were the best
this year
at your position of that year, that means you were the best over 17 games, and Bieniemy was.
And
not.
that offense looked hot all 17 games, including to some degree the playoffs.
Totally.
I don't know if I would have picked Leftwich. Like, I feel like he had a really good offense and they did really well. But then again, I don't know who I would have picked.
There's not a lot of consensus offensive
coordinators.
It's going to be Bieniemy and Leftwich, and Bieniemy doesn't really deserve it.
Last 10 games of the year, Dabble, I think.
Yeah. But he's still been streaky this year, though.
Yeah, no, over 17 games, I believe it's Byron Leftwich. I really can't think of anyone that was better on the offensive side of the ball. But, since the Saints lost Sean Payton, I've been doing a lot of research on coaching candidates. There is a lot of talent as far as defensive minds go. Yeah, there are a lot of good defensive coordinators and assistants in the league right now. I mean, I don't know.
Which one of them do you think was the best, DC of the season?
I did like Martindale.
I'm going to try and make this the least biased that I can. I do think it was Dennis Allen. If you look at it surface level, he was without Marcus Davenport for I think it was 7 games. He was without Cameron Jordan because of COVID, and Demario Davis and Marshawn Lattimore missed time. The only 16-game starter on defense, the two were – no, there was only one, and I think it was Paulson Adebo. So, I mean, he's getting the most out of these undrafted free agents on the interior of the line. Linebackers look incredible. He developed Pete Werner during training camp, and he's ready to take over Quan Alexander's role. Still getting the most out of Demario Davis, still coaching up a great secondary. I mean, the way that their defense played this year, it surprised me as a Saints fan, and I knew what we had in Dennis Allen and those players. Through adversity, he won games, shut out the Bucks. Byron Leftwich, best offensive coordinator of the year, took him 9-0. I feel biased saying it, but to me, he was the best defensive coordinator in the NFL this year.
I mean, yeah, Wink Martindale deserves some love for that. You mentioned assistants. I really like Jim Schwartz this year.
I don't even.
Was there something?
I don't even remember what team he's a part of.
I think it's the Titans as a defensive assistant.
Is he?
Yeah.
If we're talking assistants, one of my favorite assistants over the last 3 years, if any assistant, non-coordinator, non-former head coach deserves a head coaching job, I think it's Mike Kafka in Kansas City, quarterback coach. He's been incredible.
The way he's improved
he knows how to run
Mahomes from year one to now.
It's ridiculous because he
deserves 100% credit for Mahomes' progression.
Oh, totally. Okay, Andy Reid is the one calling the plays. Mike Kafka is the one telling him this is the kind of quarterback we have. These are the plays you can run. I think Mike Kafka deserves a head coaching job in the NFL. In fact, I'm hoping that the Saints interview him. If you can grab a guy like Mike Kafka, develop a quarterback, I mean, really, he's going to be a hot topic for anyone that knows they're going to snag a quarterback and they need someone to develop it. They know he can call plays and he's a good leader. He's going to be great. Learning behind Andy Reid and the enemy.
If a team like the Texans ends up losing Pep Hamilton to, I don't know, somewhere else, I think Kafka would be a great candidate for offensive coordinator there.
Totally. And even then, I think that would be underselling him. Like, I think this dude is head coach material.
Oh, at least if it doesn't happen this cycle, which it probably won't, it's going to happen next year.
Yeah, totally. No, he definitely deserves a ton of the credit for Mahomes' success. Do you know about Mike Kafka, Heimers?
I thought you were talking about Kauffman Stadium where the Royals played at first. No,
he is totally responsible. I would say 85% responsible for the success of Patrick Mahomes.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. Assistants are a good one. I would say a good award that we don't, isn't given out at official award shows, but who's a breakout player for next year? Someone that is going to burst onto the scene. This can be offensive or defense.
For the 2022-23 season?
Correct.
All right.
He's going to say Barrios.
I was.
Cooper Kupp
not
2.0.
anymore. I had a nice introduction all laid out for him, but the FB analysts had to steal that one from me too.
I mean, if he isn't going to go with one, I'm going to go with a fan of the show, Davis Mills.
I love that you've come around. I knew you listened to me during draft season.
No, I've been on him since.
I know. We honestly
talked about him.
We all have. Everyone at the Sports Wave called Davis Mills. We have proof. Yep. We all called Davis Mills. Nah, if he can develop, I think Pep Hamilton is capable of developing a quarterback.
Oh, he did it with Justin Herbert last year, and he made Davis Mills look like a first-round pick.
The Texans were not as awful as people thought this year. They were not as atrocious.
It's just talent.
It's talent. It is a lack of talent. In fact, I thought David Coley was a good coach, but it is what it is.
He was always going to be a 1-year, one and done.
Yeah. My breakout candidate for next year is Justin Herbert, and you might be saying to yourself, what? Like, he's already broken out. He's a great player. I think he solidifies himself as a top 3 quarterback next year.
He hasn't reached the ceiling yet.
No, he has not. And I was telling a friend, the future of this league is in great hands. Guys like Joe Burrow,
especially in
Justin
AFC.
Herbert, totally. Yeah. No, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, the top 3, I would say, you got Josh Allen in the mix, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray. I'm excited to see what Trevor Lawrence and Trey Lance can do. I mean, the future of the league is in good hands. So you really look and you say, once Brady and Rodgers are gone, and who's going to take that number 1 mantle? And I think it is a 3-way race between Mahomes, who's in the lead, Herbert and Burrow. But don't be fooled. It is a close race. Burrow and Herbert are 2 of the best talents in the last 25 years at quarterback. They are incredible football players. I think Justin Herbert is going to tear shit up. MVP.
All right. I mean, we still got a little bit of time. So before we get into this heated MVP debate, which everybody wants to listen to, so it's Monday night right now, right? We won't be back until, next Tuesday night, but really next Wednesday. So by next Wednesday, what narrative are we going to be talking about in this year's Super Bowl?
How Justin Burrow went from literally the bottom to the top. I mean, whether he wins or loses, I think he has solidified himself as one of the most elite players in the league. But also, I do think that the Bengals are going to win. The way that their defense has been playing, has anyone been watching Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson in the playoffs?
Their defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo, has been fantastic.
my God, like I knew Trey Hendrickson was capable of this. I knew we didn't have the money to resign him last year, but I was trying to telepathically tell every team in the league, this dude is not a 1-year hit. He's been showing flashes of greatness for so long, and he finally clicked it all together. Like, this dude is an incredible pass rusher. He has like over 3.5, 4 sacks already through 3 games in the playoffs. He has just been a wrecking ball on defense. Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt playing great football at linebacker. DJ Reader, one of the most underrated free agent signings of the last 2 years. Huge impact nose tackle, 1 tier below Vita Vea. And on the back end, Chidobe Awuzie has been great. Obviously, they have probably the best safety duo in the league. Von Bell, another player that I knew was going to be great. But, yeah, I mean, once they replace Eli Apple, his bum ass next year, their defense is going to be scary. And I used to tell people that their defense was just inconsistent, so you didn't know what was going to happen. Are they going to lose to the Mike White Jets, or are they going to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs? They've been consistent through the playoffs. They have consistently picked up where they left off, and they've been antagonizing quarterbacks. Give me the Bengals. Also, Joe Shiesty for life. That's the storyline.
If I got to pick a different one from Joe Burrow, I got to say the emergence of Odell Beckham, how great he's looked from the first half of the season with the Browns to now with a good quarterback. It's making him look like his first 2 or 3 seasons with the Giants. He's actually found new life in his career. He could really get a nice bag in free agency.
Yeah. Kind of off of Tolva's point, I think Monday and Tuesday and the beginning of next Wednesday, we will see no less than 4,000 Joe Burrow posts.
Oh,
it's 100%. Going to be everywhere. I assume media nights on Monday night next week.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Everything he's going to say will be clipped and taken out of context and blah, blah, blah. Eli Apple somehow is going to get, like, how they have, like, the Group A and Group B. Eli Apple's going to be in Group A for some reason. Like, that media night might be better than the game, honestly.
If Eli Apple can give up 350 yards and 6 touchdowns and the Bengals still win, that is the best case scenario, in my opinion, as a Saints fan. Screw Eli Apple. But that's just me. I do want to say, I've been watching Joe Burrow since he was in college, obviously, but I watched the whole season because I'm an LSU fan. And there's something about Joe Burrow when you watch him on film that it's not like the acrobatic, insane, can't believe he did that throws of Patrick Mahomes, but he has the it factor. He will make the best play available. He's going to make it. If someone's open down the field, he's going to make that throw. If the best play is for him to take the sack, he's going to take the sack. He is so smart, and he is adjusting mid-game so fast right now. He's the first overall pick to go to a Super Bowl in the first 2 years of their career. This dude has the potential to be one of the all-time greats. It's just all coming up and bubbling up now in the playoffs because the Bengals of all teams are the team he's on, and they're winning playoff games.
All right. The final award, most valuable player. I think we all know, but give me somebody not named Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or Cooper Kupp that could win, which really slims the field, I realize now.
No, I think offensively, my top candidate outside of those 3 is regular season Joe Burrow. Let's not just think that because he's in the playoffs and he's playing well, that's the only time he's played well. He's done this all year, right? We've watched Joe Burrow. We all watch football. We've seen what Joe Burrow has done all year. I don't really want to go into that. I know I might get some flack for that, but recency bias or whatever, but he really was one of the best, most valuable players to his team in the whole league. Defensively, I'm going to go Aaron Donald because even though the stats aren't 20 whatever sacks, whatever he used to have, he is just like, he's still that guy. He's still embarrassing people on national television and making huge plays, especially when his team needs them. Like, you guys look at his sacks in the playoffs and what the play he made against Garoppolo, the last play of the 49ers offense. Aaron Donald is always in the mix. 50 yards downfield, 5 yards behind the backfield, doesn't matter. He's always there.
Ricey, what about you?
Yeah, if we're slimming down the race, I'm going to have to go with Jonathan Taylor. There was like 10, 12 games during the season where he was just probably one of the best players in the league, like top 5 players in the league. Like, there was no stopping that man. And I realized he had 4 touchdowns against the Bills, but that was phenomenal watching him. Like,
I will
that was
say,
prime Adrian Peterson.
It sucks when one single player is destroying your team, but it's also like, damn, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, he's playing really well right now. Yeah.
It was prime Adrian Peterson what we were seeing from Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was explosive as all get out, and he could also carry a pile of 6 linemen with him.
Yeah, I probably would have said Jonathan Taylor, TJ Watt. Because, like, you saw when TJ Watt didn't play, it was a totally different team and made the Steelers, like, just that much more unwatchable. And the only reason why you wanted to watch the Steelers was because of TJ Watt.
They don't make the playoffs without him.
No, they don't at all.
They have no
talent on. They have no talent on offense.
Najee Harris literally has no one blocking for him.
And it's sad too, because
it's hard to watch.
He's shown like great flashes of what he can be with a good offensive line.
He's explosive and he's got tree trunks for legs and he can carry people with him.
But then he's going to have games where he rushes 20 times for 50 yards, and it's because of that offensive line.
That offensive line is arguably the worst in the league. It was so hard to watch Steelers fans think they were going to have a good offensive line in Big Ben's last year. Be more of this, Kendrick Green that. No, okay. Go spend some money. Go spend some quality draft picks.
That was probably the worst place for Najee Harris to be drafted. Yeah.
He said he was I was watching this like pre-draft show that he was on with Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle, like the Rocket Mortgage House or something. And he said, at this point, it's the Cardinals or the Steelers. And it was right before the draft. So it was kind of always going to be a below average offensive line. Yeah. So I'm trying not to talk too poorly of the Cardinals on his show.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
It's fine. They're out now. What are you going to do? Could have
watch
been us,
the Jets.
But, I mean, they didn't even make the playoffs. That's just an unnecessary blow.
At least they have Braxton Berrios.
Well, he's a free agent, so fingers crossed. All right, Bryce, you probably got like 40 seconds. Say something about the Pro Bowl, because for some reason you keep trying to like force this Pro Bowl propaganda on me.
I've only been saying it as a joke, but the fact that Mac Jones is in the Pro Bowl really speaks volumes of how highly regarded this is around the league.
Yeah. It's the all-pro teams that they care about.
Yeah.
I mean, they care about Pro Bowls, but they care more about all-pro.
It takes me back to when, I'll abbreviate this, but when Tyrod Taylor and Trevor Siemian were in the Pro Bowl in 2017, 2018.
Yeah. This is a good negative place to end it on. Yeah, that was a bad one. That was like the first one in Orlando, too.